Peace to the Galactic family. This is Heyru with Lineage Brand, and I have someone very special that's going to be joining me today and talking about her poetry and her passion. And when I met this person on what social media site, Threads,
On Threads.
I was like, wow, hold on. I've never heard anything like this. And every song or every poem after that was just like level up, level up. A lot of us talk about albums that you can literally press play. We all have those albums, those press play albums in our lifetime, and I believe this is one of those, especially for couples, especially for a divine feminine that's really looking to bring out who she really is. So I have the goddess Anahata with us. Goddess, would you like to introduce yourself?
Absolutely. As so eloquently and beautifully introduced, first of all, thank you for having me and the marvelous introduction, the edification, and just bringing that forefront energy, that ground energy into this conversation.
Yeah.
Gratitude.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Mhm.
I'll tell you, there was one time I was driving, y'all. I was driving, and I'm like near my neighborhood, and I'm listening to Anahata, right? And I'm driving, and then there was this one song that came on, and bro, I got lost. I was listening to this song, and I passed my exit. I was like, what the?
No. Sugar, I can taste you. Magic gliding across my lips with each kiss. Mm. I'm getting warmer, heating up, creating a new shade of mahogany. How on earth did I get here? All the way to my melting point, and I'm stuck. I don't know if X or G should mark the spot, but I'm hot now. And all it takes is an embrace to seize the day and make you mine. The polarity of our hearts interlaced, whispering the secrets of boundless enchantment. Say everything I just can't. Preocupado contigo, mi amor.
Tell us about this journey. Tell us about your music. Tell us about this passion. Like, again, it's something I've never heard before. So that's why I passed my exit. That's why I like it so much. That's why I gravitated to you at that time. And, we've had all these synchronicities and stuff, and it was really for these really amazing moments. You helped us with the Divine Feminine event, which went really well.
Mhm.
Um, Tell me, like, where did this passion come from?
It is almost a loaded question, but everything is in flow.
Mm,
I wrote my first poem at age 9,
okay.
and a few years later, again at 12. And the one that I wrote at age 12, it is entitled Artificial Reality. I still
Mm,
have it somewhere in my archives. I have to go find it, but that one that I wrote at 12, not even for a class project, I was in 7th grade, and I showed it to my teacher. She didn't really understand it at the time, but I knew that what I wrote was something insane. It was titled Artificial Reality. What 12-year-old is really just thinking about that?
right, right.
Then again, at 16, of course, through going through middle school, high school, doing poetry projects for English classes. But at age 16, that is when I started my first journal and decided that poetry, because I love it the way that I do, this is something that I must continue. If you would have asked me then if I would really have written and published 2 books by now,
Mm.
I wouldn't say you're crazy, but I would say, oh, okay. Because it's not something that was on the forefront of my mind, really just getting out the expression, going through those young emotions, those juvenile feelings, and working through what love means at that time.
Hmm.
And then I realized that most of my work, most of my art was centered around love, even then, even what I
Yeah.
did between 12 and 16. And understanding that path and the way that I speak the truth
of me is not aggressive. It is so much softer. And so over the time, as I kept writing and kept writing, I would only show people, friends, family who I could tell were interested, or I would tell them, hey, I write poetry. Do you want to hear something?
I act calmer, listen more, a loving creature, what the universe intended. Would you trample a garden to make the flowers grow? Or maybe it helps that I cry more so the petals feel happy to show. Yes, I'm sensitive, I get it. And you're goddamn right. Never to imagine a life where I couldn't feel the vibrations coursing through my blood and making my heart dance.
And then I would just start reading them poems out of my journal. When I was 19, I did my first performance. I was in college at the time. And I was nervous out of my socks, but one thing is you'll never ever know it. So the way that I performed that piece and the way that I delivered it, I felt the rush and I felt the necessity that it had to continue. I just didn't know when and I didn't know in what capacity. I
Mm-hmm.
didn't touch the mic again from 2018 until 2023. I hadn't been back on the mic. And
Wow.
so I was always writing through that process and continuing the craft and everything that I felt and just getting it down.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know that I would turn it into music at the time. I didn't know that it would be what it is now, but I just kept writing. But it was 2023. I didn't touch the mic again until that autumn. But now we get into closer to the present when the goddess Anahata began. She
Aha.
began.
Okay, got you. That's
She
because I was gonna
began.
ask you, like, because
Mhm.
there was something online you said, that the goddess Anahata was created, So that 2023 timeline was whenever you were like,
Exactly.
oh, I'm about to come out of here. Okay.
I knew that between 2021 and 2022, the idea of writing a book and having a publishing company, it was ringing. It was ringing
Hmm.
to me that this is something that I should do.
Hmm.
And I was nervous only because I had no help. I didn't know where to begin. I hadn't even ever made an LLC before. I didn't know what it would take to start a publishing company, how to put the book together or do anything. So I put it on the back burner. Once spring of 2023 began, the goddess Anahata began.
Mm.
She used all of 2022 to heal a lot of pain and a lot of hurt that was still welling up inside while still keeping the core of who she is and relearning who she was always meant to be.
Once upon a time, it was dangerous for me to talk so soft and be so sweet. The ravaged ones only knew how to exist precariously, with blank stare and cold, vicious grin where a soul is supposed to be. A butterfly has no business in a blizzard, so I had to change form for survival and almost got locked in the armor. But you found my being, ready to protect this butterfly from bitter winds and storms. Now, even on the foggiest of nights, my beacon glows from the lighthouse. It led you straight to my heart.
And shedding all of the old layers of the past experiences and not holding on to them anymore. So then I
Yeah.
knew it was time. And I
Something
knew.
hit me like right
Mm,
when you were saying that, like as you were saying that, I
mhm,
started remembering, the first time that I realized that the god Anahata was the heart chakra. So as you were talking about this moment of vulnerability, of love, about
mhm.
coming out, like I literally was like thinking like, oh, the heart chakra, and that's where a lot of those emotions start.